Hey guys, Josh here again with Blue is the New White podcast, doing another recap episode for you today. I'm kind of liking these recaps. Not only does it help me retain some of the information that I get from my incredible guests, but I feel like it's garnered a great response so far, and I'm really excited that people see value in it. So we're going to keep doing these until I'm proven otherwise. So this last guest that we had here, Jeremiah Webb with Shop on Fire. This guy was full of intensity, like one of the most intense guys that I've probably ever met, and that's to his credit, by the way. Definitely a ton of passion for the people he works with, a ton of passion for the service industry, which is what he specializes in, just a ton of passion for his clients and what he does. So really intriguing, whenever I talk to people like that, it's really great because it doesn't really matter what they say, right? I mean, at the end of the day, they believe so much in what they're doing and how they're doing it and who they're doing it for that the conversation just flows because they know exactly, what they're doing and where they're supposed to be. So, the conversation with Jeremiah was really about two things. It was about speed and ability to grow your business, and also extreme empathy, which was kind of the theme, right? So talking about pace of change first, right? The speed at which you can grow your company. I want to know from you what you would say to someone who has either a fear of going fast, maybe a business owner, right? A fear of going fast, or something logical in their head saying, going fast isn't the smart way to do things. They got that inner voice. What would you say to somebody like that to get them, to expand their thought process a little bit?
Well, I mean, first of all, amazing question, and yes, and a lot of credit to you for what you've been able to do. And awards are one thing, but what you've done since some of those awards is another thing. And I do throw out a lot of credit to you, even being aware to, hey man, I do need to dial back here, and but I think what happens is, you ever have like a moment and it just seems to take forever. You're like, dude, this is like, are you kidding me? Like, this is 2 minutes later. How's that possible? Right. And then later on, we're having a conversation with this amazing dude named Josh, for example, right? We're having this, and it's like, what? It's already been like, we're already, time's up. How? And so you have this fluidity of time. And what I would say to that question is, there's really no such thing as fast or slow. And I'm not trying to get all Buddha or Bruce Lee or something here. There's really just opportunity and recognizing when the window of opportunity opens. If you don't climb through that shit, it's gone. And when it closes, Josh, it's gone. And you're not going to get it again. Maybe in 20 years or 15 years or a different time frame, something similar comes back, but not the same thing.
I have a lot of thoughts surrounding this. As most of you know, we've been on the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies in America three times in a row, 2018, 2019, and 2020. So I know a little something about rapid growth and how exciting it can be and how it can bring teams together. And there's a lot of truth to that. There's also a lot of pitfalls, I think, and this is what I want to talk about today. Okay, so, speed in business is imperative. It's arguably one of the most important things about business is how fast you can go, how fast you can be better than you were yesterday, how fast you can recover from your failures and mistakes, and how fast you can be against your competition, right? First to market. And just being able to change, right? Being able to turn that ship quickly. The thing about change, though, is that it's exhausting. It is utterly exhausting, right? And as founders, as entrepreneurs, as CEOs, that's kind of something innate in most of us. We can change and we can pivot and we can grow, and we like to do that fast. We like to fail fast, right? That's the buzzword. Fail fast, fail forward. That's the thing we hear all the time. And there's so much merit to that, right? And I don't want to take away from any of that in what I'm about to say. But as the business grows, I feel like you need to be more and more careful. because everybody in the business isn't an owner. Everybody in the business is not a CEO. They're not a founder. They're not an entrepreneur, right? And change affects them in a different way, right? They relate change more to lack of security a lot of times. So not that there's anything wrong with changing quickly and growing quickly in business. That's important, as I just said. However, don't misconstrue the conversation that I had with Jeremiah, and don't misconstrue what I'm saying now. With speed, with growth, and with change comes explanation, comes impeccable leadership, comes the ability to empathize, right? Which is something I'll get into in a second. We talked about that a little bit too. But these things have to grow with your company. And essentially, you have to grow with your company as well, and just as fast, right? Because it's one thing to see growth. It's one thing to support growth. It's one thing to fuel growth externally. I can do that. You can do that. We can do that all day long. But if we're not growing at the same pace internally, it makes it really, really, really difficult to sustain. And so, the caution here, and we didn't really get much into this. This is kind of afterthought, so this is coming from me, but it is imperative that, when we grow in a calculated way. So I told you we were on the Inc. 5000 list, 2018, 2019. You might be asking, or 2018, 2019, 2020. Sorry, you might be asking, well, what happened after 2020? Why didn't we get back on the list? And why haven't we been back on the list since then? It's been 4 years. Well, it's because I didn't grow as fast as my business did. And that's just the God honest truth, right? That's the transparent matter, and since then I've sought a lot of training, a lot of support, a lot of reflection, a lot of introspection, right? And making sure that I was able to grow as well. And so, when I was growing the business in 2018 and 19 and 20, it was chaotic because I was focused on the external. I was focused on the growth and really nothing else, right? And that was the goal: is grow, 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 which is great on paper. I've got the awards to prove it, right? But it gets exhausting, gets tiring, gets more challenging, for the team. And if you're not providing that support for your team amidst the growth, then it's really hard to continue at that pace. So, we've learned a lot since then, and we've turned that chaotic growth into strategic growth, right? Because we've found the balance between growing fast and growing slow, and what it does to our staff and what it does to me as a leader and my leadership team, right? Everybody handles change differently. This is a very subjective thing. So, the easiest thing to say is, go balls to the wall and, grow, 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 grow. Nothing else matters. That's the easiest thing to do, easiest thing to say, especially on social media. That's kind of the thing, right? But you got to stop, man. You got to stop and think about it just a little bit. So, that's kind of my 2 cents. I guess the takeaway there is, if you're going to grow, go all in. Do it for the right reasons, and make sure you verbalize those reasons, and make sure you are focused on growing yourself just as much as you are focused on growing your business. And I guess that's the bottom line. The other thing we talked about was empathy. Now, Jeremiah, he's an extreme, what do you call it? Empath. He's an extreme empath, right? And to the point where, he says he can feel things before other people feel them, feel them on behalf of somebody else before they do, which is cool. It's a cool ability, right? And it really boils down to body language, being able to read body language, being able to sense tone, being able to just pick up on things, micro mannerisms and stuff like that. And I know empathy is a big buzzword these days, but I think, we have to be careful with empathy too. I'm not going to spend as much time on this topic, but, it was a very cool conversation. So if you want to get into the meat and potatoes of it, definitely listen to the episode. However, I think empathy is largely misunderstood, or it can be misunderstood, right? It is very, very, very good to be empathetic, but you cannot, absolutely cannot let it get in the way of the things that are most important, right, in your business. And I'm not saying that empathy is not important. Do not say that. Do not think that. It is. It absolutely is. But it has to be balanced, like everything else. Like I was talking about being able to balance growth. If you can't balance empathy with candor, if you can't balance empathy with honesty, if you can't balance empathy with tolerance, then it's not going to have the effect that it needs to have on people. So be empathetic. Empathy is a wonderful superpower. It is incredible. I wish I was more empathetic, but also don't lose sight of, being able to show compassion through candor. That is a form of empathy, maybe not often talked about. So anyway, I've talked enough, guys. If you want to listen to the episode, check it out. It's a good one. Otherwise, stay tuned. We got a lot more awesome guests coming your way. All right. See you later.